Okie dokie, so this is going to be a very quick, well it's not quick, it's 50 minutes, sort of speed building video of the 20 by 20 challenge that Heth and I sort of set each other. Heth and I have been friends for, well, I don't know, 10 years or so now? Been quite a long time, and we've not actually done a project together. We always say we will, and we get halfway through and one of us gets bored and stops. Usually Heth. So anyway, we thought, yeah, we'll build a park within 20 by 20 squares, which is what you can see on screen at the moment, is what I'm trying to set out. And my idea was to build it within a castle, because they have a natural boundary with the walls and stuff. So that's all I'm doing at the moment, is trying to build a 20 by 20 grid, which, as you'll see at some point, I can't remember if it's this first segment or the second segment, you'll find out that I can't actually count, which isn't great. I knew that I wanted to have a singular entrance point, which is what I'm building now, which is like these two arches. Heth showed me his, and he had something similar. So we set rules that were just, yeah, you could have one entrance. Well, I don't know if he said rules to that, but I wanted to have one entrance point, and we weren't allowed to build any scenery on the outside. So as you can see there, I'm building a bit of a lookout almost, because you know castles have walkways around the top of the barricades. And yeah, I went through a really horrible grey and red colour scheme for some strange reason. But yeah, a walkway around the top I thought was quite a staple for castles, so that's what I was trying to do here. Heth went for quite an industrial mining. I don't really know sort of style. Mine was, yeah, castle based, natural boundaries. And again, I wanted to give it a bit of a grandeur entrance maybe. As you see here, I was experimenting with a few different entrance styles, and then yeah, I wanted to build up a big front wall with a couple of towers either side, so it's a proper attention grabbing entrance. You can see there, I got the walls the wrong way around, flip them around. I think the biggest challenge here for us was how are we going to fit what effectively was going to be a proper theme park within 20 by 20. So I think, I call him by his real name because it's much easier for me to remember, Alex showed me his first sort of draft, which was a shuttle coaster, which makes perfect sense because you can launch it in quite a small space and not have to worry too much about quite a long lift. So I knew I wanted to steal that idea and build a shuttle coaster, which you'll see at the moment, but I wanted to make sure that my boundary was properly set first, which is why I'm building these towers and making sure the walls were correctly built before I wanted to build anything else. And as you can see, you can sort of see it, there you go. There's a path going all the way around the inside, the first square, and I didn't change that throughout the whole build. I kept one solid pathway around the whole thing. So it looks like, paused it there, just finishing off some more of the interior walls, following the staircase down. I think I knew when I built this part, I knew I wanted to put something in those areas where I'm clicking now. I think I'd already set out that's where my eateries and my toilet block could go, because it's going to be pretty much dull space, you can't really put many attractions in there. And again, yeah, the biggest challenge is going to be where are we going to fit all these damn rides. So I already knew I wanted to do one coaster, and I thought I'm just going to utilise flat rides to my advantage here, and it's being a castle, I didn't really know what I was going to do. As you can see, for the first couple of hours of the game, all I did was build the entrance just to get it right. And to be quite honest, I didn't really change much of it. So you can see here I got fed up of building the scenery. I want to start digging into the rides. So this was me sort of thinking about what to do, and I thought, oh well, yep, let's just have a look at the size of a boomerang. And that didn't work straight away. I knew too early on that the spike is just going to be way too big. So I thought, no, I'll build a shuttle coaster like Hethetheth did. And I thought, well, how are you going to fit that station on the ground without taking up too much space? I thought, oh, you've got to raise it up a couple of notches. You know, you've got a natural walkway underneath, use it. So you can see straight away, build a station, build a spike, out of the station, turn it around, and yeah, I thought I'll go for a cheeky inversion there. And you'll see throughout this bit that the design changes quite a bit. Well, in essence it does. The station stays the same place, the launch changes, the inversion changes, and the towers change. And yeah, you'll see that as this goes on a little bit more. So it was about here I noticed that I'd built two natural towers in terms of the spike on the shuttle coaster. So I thought I'd use that to my advantage. I can build some scenery items here. So here's me repositioning the ride to match up with the towers of the ride, and I then needed to sort of enclose the ride slightly within the castle walls. This is again me just building it up. I think I must have, yeah, I duplicated the tower then to match. And yeah, this, I'm doing the commentary obviously way after I've built this, and I'm going, I can't believe it looked like this to begin with. Looking at it now finished, spoiler alert, I think it's okay. I can't believe I built it like this to begin with, to be quite honest with you. So then, yeah, this ride went probably through the most changes, just because it's the first one. It had the biggest footprint. I'm happy with how it turned out, but yeah, this is me thinking I could box it in a bit more, but I decided against it ultimately. And again, yeah, through a few different designs of the tower. Ultimately it settled on just put the parapets on top, bosh, done. Yeah, me trying to put a circular roof into a square, stupid idea. Oh, don't you just hate the paths in Planet Coaster? They didn't do very well, did they? Again, this is just me trying to sort of test ideas, and I wasn't fully committed on this as a ride, but again, it's stuck. So I thought I'd build in some queue just to make sure I have an idea of where things can go. And yeah, I think it changed quite a bit. So yeah, I clearly got fed up. Why did I put that in there? I clearly got fed up with building one ride. I thought I need to show some more. I needed to put something else in. So it's my drop tower. Again, I raised it off the ground. I don't know why here, to be quite honest with you. But I always knew that I wanted to build this enclosed. I've done it in Roller Coaster Tycoon. I've probably done it in Planet Coaster. And I thought, yeah, we're going to do it again here. Because there's a castle, you know, castles go inside. So this is where it first started, and as you see as it goes along, I decided to move it elsewhere. But yeah, this ride made the cut eventually. Once I built the ride, I knew I needed to enclose it somehow. So this is me now just designing the enclosure that I knew was going to go on it. And I thought, well, I'll build it off ride, bring it on ride, and I can scale it up there from there. So I thought I'd build a big tower to go on the top of it. And I think it was at this point I put it on. Centre it up, yeah. I put it on like this. I think this is then when I took a photo of it and sent it to Alex and said, what do you think, you know, what rules have we got with this? I think his reply was, no floaty shit. So you'll see when I move it over to a different location, because it doesn't stay here eventually, I moved it away from floaty shit. This is when I decided, I thought, oh well, I'll try and bang as many attractions in as possible first, and then worry about theming and how to actually fit it in. So I thought, oh, I'll put a kiddie ride in. I've got two sort of thrill rides, put a kiddie ride in. Dragons fit the theme of medieval. This didn't go very well, looking back at it. I thought this will be quite a nice little run. Didn't have to do much, does it? You can go around a few circuits, no problem, but I think I just wanted to put as many coasters in as possible, and looking back, this is just an absolutely stupid idea. Yeah, go up, come straight back down to a helix, brake run. It's an absolutely ridiculous idea. It doesn't work, look at it. I mean, what was, look back now and go, what was the absolute point of that? Yeah, put it looping, lapping. What a great idea! And this is me trying to smooth out. I'm ashamed of this part. It's absolutely stupid. Look, there's a figure eight, does a dip, straight into the station, goes around 3 times. Waste of time. And again, like the shuttle coaster, I put a few paths in to see where it fits. Aha, we've come on to my favourite part. This is after me checking with Alex the rules. And I said, right, I've done a 20 by 20 square. Is it 20 from the in or 20 from the square? And he went, now what you've done there is you've made 20 by 20, you started building on the inside, therefore you have an 18 by 18. So this is me now going through and fixing it, purely because I can't count very well. This was faff, but then I also felt like I gave myself more space, so I had more space to play with, which is quite nice when you're building on a small challenge. But yeah, this took an hour or so just to fix. And it's my fault, but ultimately it needed to be done. I think next time, I mean, Heth's not going to watch this video, it's 50 minutes, he doesn't have that attention span for me. If you are watching it, sorry Alex. What I would probably suggest if we do this again is we build a template, send it to each other via Steam, and then go, right, this is your template, go, rather than build your own template. So I'm pretty sure he released his template. I didn't, because I didn't get asked for it, which is fair enough. But yeah, I think that'll be a better idea. So I just had to watch this footage a few times to work out what I was doing. I couldn't really work it out, and I remembered, yes, because I gave myself an extra square, I had to redo the path, so I moved the coaster out, rebuilt the path and brought it back in. So as you can see, I kept this singular square path going around the whole outside of the park. This is when I decided the dragon coaster was to be binned. I kept the outline the whole way through. There you go, bring Joust back in. Moved it closer as well, and I realised I had more space here. As you can see, I moved the tower to be closer to the spike. But yeah, I kept that circular path on the outside, or square path around the outside for the whole thing, and it reminded me, I can't remember it was a Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 map. I want to say it's Castle Caper, but I can't quite remember what it's actually called. Crazy Castle, maybe? But that gave me the inspiration for this. And quickly shooting back to what I'm doing on screen, this is when I decided I wanted to change my ride completely. And I built a loop. And this is how the design stayed. I changed the loop type, but yeah, this is how the design basically stayed now. You launched into a bank, into a loop, up a spike and back. But yeah, I changed the loop eventually from whatever the loop's called, vertical loop, to clothoid, because it fit the design better. I was quite happy with how this turned out. For me, this took a lot of fine tuning. Just because it came off the launch and it twisted, it looked quite breakneck. So I wanted to. It took a lot of fine tuning, basically. I don't need to say more than that. It took a lot of time for me to be happy with it, to be borderline realistic. Because I know Alex will build rides that are quite realistic. So. This is when I changed. Yeah, this is when I moved the coaster, the drop tower, to be part of Joust. Get more space, I guess. So once I'd moved the drop tower, I wanted to start building the topper. And again, based on the no floaty stuff, I started I started building it floating. And I'll show you, well, you'll see I had to go back and make adjustments. So yeah, I wanted a big grandeur tower to go on the top, and I toyed with a few ideas, but eventually just went to a castle tower, centering it there. Look, bish bash bosh, lift it up, perfect. And then yeah, this is when I went, right, I want you to drop through different segments, so you see the outside, go back into the tower, see the outside, go back into the tower. So I tested it to make sure that you didn't break any arms, and yep, looks fine. I like the visuals, so I keep it. The only problem I had with this was, it's just floating there. So what I decided to do is use these haunted, those aren't the right beams, they're too thin. I used the haunted beams to make these sort of faux supports. And my argument for using the wood is, in real life, they would be steel structures cladded to look like wood. A good example of that is anything in Disney. So the world of Avatar, Pandora in Animal Kingdom is, big steel structure made to look like rock. So that's my argument here. Not that I need to justify the realism of it, it's a game. But yeah, considering Alex and I were going for borderline realism, not just fantasy floating rubbish, I decided to make this as structurally sound as possible. And I go on to make some footers here, but that's not particularly interesting to commentate on. I mean, none of this is really. If you're still listening, I really applaud you. You deserve a subscription or something. But yeah, if you're still listening, you're absolutely mental. So the next thing you see me building here is a big wall at the back of the park to again give it a bit more of enclosure, and it does stay, but there's an idea coming up in the next sort of 30 seconds that didn't make it, and it was a sort of an outlook post? No, that's not the right way. Sort of an outlook over the whole park, and ultimately it didn't stay. I didn't like the idea in the end, and an idea was to put a coaster up there that sort of did a vertical drop down into a lift, and then the lift would take you up high enough to get enough momentum to come backwards up the vertical drop back into the station. I remember doing it on Tycoon 3 years ago, but it didn't make the cut, it didn't work. So ultimately this is a bit of a waste of visual, because I build all these different structures to see if it would fit, and I didn't like how much land it took up, so I binned it off in the end. So after this jump cut there, part of it, the game hasn't recorded because I forgot, and I built a merry-go-round. Again, sort of suspended on those fake wooden support things, and I remember showing it to Heth, and he went, "Ooh, phone's gone off. It's live recording." I remember sending it to Heth, and he went, "No, that's not possible." I mean, Heth's an architect, so he knows how this stuff sort of works. I don't. I'm a software engineer by trade. And yeah, he basically said it needs a better foundation, so you could build your entrance out more, and that is what I went with eventually. I built my entrance in a bit, and that's what you can see me building here. Sort of built it all enclosed, so you had a bit of a gap between the merry-go-round and the roof, and then this is me putting the foundation out on top, ready for the merry-go-round. But you'll see now I actually tried a different ride. I thought I'd put a chair swing up there. It'll look amazing swinging out and around, but it was just too big. So yeah, back to the merry-go-round. Once I was happy that I knew I needed to start putting some shrubbery in and just theme the area a bit more, so that's what I was doing here. Again, it's castle themed. I don't know. Anything, it can be overgrown, I guess, so I just went with random placements of trees, to be quite honest. There's no theory behind it, but you can also see on the right part of the screen there is Excalibur, which was like an El Loco kind of ride. Again, it didn't record. Oh, this is me trying to put in a dark ride type of mechanism to see if I could put something over the top of it, and ultimately again didn't fit, didn't like it. This is me putting in some eateries that we agreed on as part of the rules. Needed to have eateries, toilets, rides, basically. And I'm yet to put in drinks vendors, which won't be recorded, just because I've done all the footage, and I thought my park was finished, and then Alex said, "Have you put drinks in?" I was like, "No," so I need to go back and do that. Again, castle themed I thought was quite simple for me. You know, put in broken bits, and my idea here was to light behind it. And I also thought about putting a dragon in, which I think got recorded, but again, he didn't fit. He's quite a chunky animatronic. I put proper signs in, although they don't do the wooden sign for all of it, so I was a bit annoyed at that, so that ended up getting scrapped, I think. Saying I didn't put drinks in. There's Gulpy there. I forgot I did that. Okay. Maybe this is finished. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to put a sleeping dragon in there, so you just about see him. Which I thought would be quite a cool idea. But as you can see, his animatronic base kept kept fluttering out, so I binned it off eventually. I did like the idea of it. Yeah, every dragon I looked at was just too big. And yeah, I thought about putting fire behind it, and then nah. So I decided to light it. Again, sort of fiery themed, and then yeah, I need to actually light the signs, or you wouldn't be able to see what you're ordering. Yeah, I have to light that one from the bottom. Hide the lights. I thought that worked quite well. I like that. We had to put bins in. Of course, you had to put bins in. Because yeah, these peeps like to drop everything. So what am I doing now? Ah, I'm putting benches in. Because you have to find somewhere to eat. Sit when you eat. And this is when I realised that I've put my benches in the only place there is space on the wrong side of the eateries. So you've got the toilets on the left and the eateries on the right. So this is when I decided to strip out the eateries and toilets and basically flip them. So you can get your food and sit down and eat without being overwhelmed by the stench of the toilets. Yeah, all I did then was dress the entrance and then put some theming on the inside of the entrance. So I knew I wanted to light it up, but the idea was just use normal lights, and I thought I could put some chandeliers in. So what I did here was make 9 chandeliers, and then make the middle ones the lowest, and then raise the top up. Yeah, so it sort of gave you a different level. I quite like that. I think it worked. You can see a nice overview there. And then this is when I wanted to join up the park with the main path, because yeah, we agreed on the only bits of theming on the outside was your entrance, your path to the main entrancey bit of the game. Yeah, that makes sense. So I just finished off some of the little bits of theming. Oh yeah, because the bit I'm doing now is I tried to make the entrance to the merry-go-round go up and around the existing path. It didn't work at all, so this is me just tidying it all up and adding some flourishes there. I redid a lot of the paths just to fit some more in. I just wasn't happy with how the path worked out for Excalibur, and I then developed a bit more space for the middle, which you'll see eventually put in. Oh, yes, this is me putting in my sort of hidden area underneath the station. It created a big, vast open space. So I put a bunch of sleeping drats in there, which I think are dragon rats. So it was a nice little Easter egg. If you were walking around the perimeter of the park under that, you come across this sort of little scene. Again, I think this worked quite well. It was a nice little fun idea I had, and then I dressed it, lit it, and pathed it on, fenced it in. Also, something I found out the other day, which I didn't realise, is the flashlight tool. It was bugging me for ages doing some POVs. It was just a bright white light coming from somewhere. I didn't realise how to press L. I've been playing this game since beta. I did not know about that. It really bugged me thank you to who pointed it out to me on Facebook. I appreciate that, because I felt like a right idiot. So the idea behind the coaster is joust. So jousting, 2 knights or 2 people on horseback run at each other, big stick, try and knock them off. So I put a jester jousting in there, lit him, and there's a knight in the station because why not? You know, there's very little animatronics to use. And you're not exactly running at a different coaster, but you're going up 2 different spikes, so whatever joust worked. And then I moved on to light the tower. Again, all big centerpieces. It's not centerpieces per se, but all big pieces in the park should be lit well so it draws the eye. Again, I took the advantage of hiding the lights within the walls. And again, it's sort of purpley red, looked quite nice, fit the theme. Gives you quite a spooky effect. I've used a lot of purple for spooky, haunted-y kind of themes. So this was now me trying to fit in one last coaster. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. I do not have the space in here to fit in a coaster. I don't know why I tried, but I did. Tried to put in a spinning coaster because again, the idea was the castle tower theme. So I thought I could build it up and around, and this is when I thought, right, I'll custom support it, and I'm actually glad I didn't have to, because it would have been the right pain. Yeah, I get so far and then go, do you know what, this is just not going to work. That looks horrible as well, that horrible, yeah, God. Looking back on this thinking, why did I even try? It's so stupid. I mean, yeah, fast forward 10 seconds, you don't need to see me struggling to build a roller coaster in a tiny space. You really don't. This would have been another example of floaty towers that I had to structure. I can hear my thoughts building this, going, Dan, why are you building this? You know, you don't need to. Just conceit. Just fail. It's fine. But yeah, this would have been the tiniest coaster. Look, it would have just gone up, come around, tried to spin around a bit. But yeah, it was an absolutely ridiculous idea. So let's go from one ridiculous idea to another. Let's put a reverse launch coaster in. I didn't realise how long that pull-in was, so my idea was to have a really sharp pull-in, and it's just stupid, so I binned it. And I was just adamant that I'm going to try and fit in another coaster, but it didn't work, so I ended up going with a flat ride. And yep, this is the one that made the cut, Insanity. Called Executioner because it sort of looked like a big axe. They're great rides. There's one in the UK at Drayton Manor, Pandemonium. It's great fun. And yeah, here's me adding a custom sequence. Don't know why I did that. I just thought, well, kill some time. And yeah, this made the cut eventually. I liked it. I really liked it. So this is 3 flat rides, 2 coasters. Oh yeah, to try and fit the queue in then around that ride here, that's a pain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it now. This is the final form of the park. I don't try and add any new rides. I just turned it all on. I think I opened the park to see how guests reacted. Yeah, I added in some shrubberies. It's just the final touches now, I believe. Yeah, capping the existing towers, which I forgot to finish. Yeah, just sort of dressing it. Sword. I finally came up with a name for this. It took me ages. Excalibur, done. Nothing fancy at all. But it's because I remember that there was a rock, you know, there's a sword piece I could use to just shove in a rock and go, yep, that's the signage, done. As I say, a lot of this was now just tidying up, making sure the walls were the correct height, knowing that I wasn't going to put anything new on it. But here I noticed that I remembered that there's a clothoid loop which sort of fits the Schwarzkopf theme a bit better, so I had to go back and recreate or rebuild it. And it was here that I came up with this design, which was you sort of double back on yourself on the loops. You sort of come back over yourself and then come up over the spike. You know what I mean? You can see it. You have eyes. And then yeah, once I'd done that, smoothed it out a bit. Very happy. Oh, clearly I wasn't. I rebuilt quite a bit of this. Actually, I didn't realise how much I did that. Okay, yeah, I didn't realise how much I rebuilt that ride. This is going to take a little bit longer than I expected. Once I finished it, I had to ride it. So you get 400% speed POV here. Yeah, I really like that ride, that's quite fun. Just needed some tweaking, just to make it a bit more smooth. And then yeah, I did some custom supporting, because again, no floaty nonsense. There's really not much more for me to say here. I just sort of needed to add some more theming to the area, so I built some random towers. Because, you know, castles have towers galore, don't they? Yeah, fairy tale tower sort of things. So yeah, just enjoy, I suppose. If you're still watching, then flipping out, good on you. Thank you. Just watch the rest of it and see if you were happy with the result. Anything you did differently? Probably, because I'm not very good. Yeah, enjoy me making some towers. Well, actually it's one tower. I don't know why I'm saying towers. I think I built one, trying to copy it and it didn't fit anywhere. So the next bit of footage is the last bit of footage, and it's jumped a little bit again because I forgot I wasn't recording, and this is just me adding some signage now. So these are my Knights of the Round Table, or the roundest table you can find in Planet Coaster. I just needed to provide some entrance areas, jeez, signage. Yeah, basically it. And it's just quite a funny pun, I suppose. They are knights stood around a round table. It works, doesn't it? Come on, give me a break. And yeah, this one needed just a bloke holding a sword, or an axe. So yeah, I used his static shape to add a sign to. Again, stupidly simple, if you ask me. Call it executioner, bosh, 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 done. He is holding his own signpost. They just need to drag him to an appropriate spot, done. Same for Watchtower. It's got a podium already there, just put a higher, taller post on it and give it a sign. I played with ideas of clocks on it that didn't get too big. Sounds like they're searching for a sign, vertical sign, because it's a vertical ride. Done. Again, I think that worked really well. As you can see, I'd added some other flourishes like banners and whatnot in the bit that didn't record. Just brought it all together a bit more, I think, and solved the theme. Ultimately I'm really happy with it. It worked out really well. Added some drawbridges, as you can see, as an entrance and exit. And this is when I finally added the front sign. of Venti Kingdom. So I can't remember what film it is. Venti means 20. So I went with that. And yeah, ultimately this is going to be available to download, so if you have watched the whole video, I really appreciate it. Go out and download the park, put it in your park, add to it, do what you want. Really appreciate it. That's it. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe and download in Steam Workshop. Really appreciate it. Thanks everyone.